changes in their lineup. Juan Pablo Guzman is back after a lengthy absence. Alex Dixon in as well.
I like the width that the 4-2-3-1 gives this lineup. Getting the width allows them to get into their attacking third and then try and find Vucic in the box to score the goals.
On the other side, coming off that 4-0 defeat to Reno, no Didier Drogba in the 18. Won't make his debut tonight, but a new formation, 4-4-1-1, with Cody Wakasa back in from the red card suspension.
A different way to get width and look for Sean Wright-Phillips. Let's see if he has the legs tonight to keep going up and down that right flank as we've seen him throughout his soccer career.
They're going to ask a lot of Wright-Phillips in this Phoenix team as Juan Pablo Guzman stands over the ball, and we're underway. So glad you could be with us with Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts, as this Western Conference clash closes out this Saturday in week number 8 of USL action.
And it's going to be interesting to see how both teams respond to disappointing performances last week. Phoenix started so poorly in that game, Mike, conceding 2 goals in the first 10 minutes.
And Stewart calmly playing out of the pressure. Rooney sliding it away from the fellow number 10, Miguel Gonzalez. Casa back in at right back. Speaking with Rick Shantz, he said really he's a center back who's slotted in as Cortez giving chase. Coming off the red card, he is back at the right back position to open tonight. Stewart stepping forward with speed. The sliding challenge in the area, no whistle. And now the whistle going the other way as Guzman goes down in a heap. And Chris Cortez being whistled over by the referee.
Well, it was a fantastic challenge. Look at that slide tackle in the box. No mistake could be made, otherwise a penalty kick would have been conceded. Guzman there winning the ball so brilliantly there. And Cortez just a little bit of payback. Not the best challenge as Guzman goes down in a heap.
Robbie Holfner is the referee. Anthony Bersano, Bennett Savage are on the lines. Nicholas Gastelum is the 4th official tonight. Ramage comes down to Mickey Daly. Hey fans, Spanish is available. Jose and Jesus have the call over on SAP in the Oklahoma, in the Phoenix market. As Oklahoma City also airing this game live in their local market. Just part of the great work that USL Productions has done, bringing USL soccer on the broadcast television in both Phoenix and OKC. Ramage. Long run for Philip Rasmussen. And comes to Josh Cohen. Bit unlucky to concede twice in the first 10 minutes last time out, but Dane Kelly had him beat as Reno rolled to a 4-0 win. Wright Phillips has it knocked away from him by Daly, and Reggio look to throw.
And looking at Wright Phillips, see where he's playing. He's all over the pitch at the moment. We had him on the right flank, but you see him in picture right now in the middle of the park, trying to get a good feel of exactly where he is.
Michael Harris using that flip throw to try and reverse the field. Cortez trying to head it forward to Regi. Cortez snapping it back, and Mickey Daly, the former Sacramento Republic man, has arrived on the scene. Cortez remains down, and Regi goes to check on him. The trainer's being waved off by Regi, but the official forces this Phoenix Rising training staff onto the field early as Cody Andrews, the center back for OKC, comes over to take a look as well.
I have to admit, I didn't exactly see what happened to Cortez as He goes to the sideline. I was following the ball. There seems something around the jawline, the left cheek.
We'll see how quickly 7 in red finds his way back onto the field.
He's coming back in.
And there's Cortez at the bottom of your screen wandering back in. Meanwhile, Stewart allows it out and looks to play quickly. Bounces this into the box. Knock back to Cohen. He's going to dribble by Gonzalez up the right-hand side.
Not the best decision there in the back line for Phoenix Rising. Puts Cohen under all kinds of pressure, able to clear the lines. Gonzalez, number 10 for the Energy, was popping up and putting all kinds of pressure on.
Regi shoved away by Harris. A throw for Phoenix, and Regi wants to move quickly. We spoke with Rick Schantz this week, the acting head coach for Phoenix, stepping in for his second game after the resignation of Frank Yallop, and he said 2 technical mistakes put our tactical game plan completely on the back burner just 6 minutes into the last game. Already a better start for Phoenix here. Ball lobbed in, and Lorendi, man of bun and beard alike, firing the ball away.
It's arguably the best beard in the USL, I think.
And there are some who would argue differently, but those people aren't coming to my mind just yet. Back to Lorendi again.
And going back to the Phoenix Rising game from last time out, and a good run on the overlap opened up things for the shot for Dane Kelly to put the first goal in. And hats off to the player. I mean, a good finish off of a defensive miscue basically from Phoenix Rising, but then they did themselves no favors by essentially making the same error within the next 10 minutes to allow the same player to score with his other foot. So you're just compounding your mistakes, and from that point forwards, as the coach said, right then you're just fighting an uphill battle.
Cortez does well to take it away. Lifted over the top for Bravo. If he had brought it down, he would have had a good look at Lorendi. Still looking for that first goal in a Phoenix uniform.
Lovely ball over the top. Bravo just couldn't get his big toe on it to corral it. Lorendi, though, was out very quickly. Would have been a very difficult chance if Bravo had been able to control.
Dixon. A forearm shove from Cortez, and then Watson whistled for the foul, and it may come all the way back to that initial Cortez contact.
That's fucking bullshit, man. This is big boy soccer. Come on.
Cortez there upending. Lovely flick pass to himself. And then just another clumsy challenge for Cortez. It's the second he's had in this match so far. He's going to have to be careful, otherwise accumulation will earn him a yellow card.
The throw into Daniel Gonzalez. Last year, more of a super sub. Oklahoma City Energy. Harris. Vucic, who takes on his new role as the lead striker for a franchise that in 2015 got over 20 goals from Danny Koenig. He was shipped this past week to FC Cincinnati and debuted today for the club. Meanwhile, Andy Craven comes back. Last year he was in Seattle, but unavailable due to suspension. Picked up for a red card against Bethlehem Steel for FCC before the trade. Speaking with Rick Schantz this week, he said, honestly, a little less pressure on us knowing that Koenig's not part of the roster this week. Jimmy Nielsen and OKC Energy. Rasmussen. Clever ball by Dixon. Vucic playing it back to him as he moves into the middle of the field, plays it up the right-hand side. Rasmussen was offside.
Yeah, good play there from Dixon. Rasmussen just wasn't able to hold his run, strays into the outside position. As you look along that back line of Phoenix Rising, they were together as a unit, communicated very well, did that back four. And that was lacking in the early part of the match last week, so immediately something has improved, and that's what you want as a coach, is your players learn from their mistakes and don't repeat.
Vasquez has Regi on the turn. Throw in for Vasquez, just 23. The outside back playing on the left-hand side and solidifying himself. Playing under the wing of one of the most accomplished strikers in Mexican football, in Omar Bravo. Wright Phillips. Cortez was able to keep it. Wright Phillips' shot is blocked. Up the left-hand wing, Vasquez got his service in. Well, already we're seeing Omar Bravo, a highlighted focus point of the attacks for Phoenix. Regi, Wright Phillips, back to Regi. Falls outside for Rooney. Vasquez making his run, already a much better performance offensively for Phoenix in the early going as Cortez drops it off.
Good rotation between Rooney and Matt Watson, the central midfield players for Phoenix Rising. Jordan Stewart had stepped up into the attack. He's one of the central defenders. Matt Watson had stepped back alongside Peter Ramage to make sure that the back line still had its shape. And as Rooney came back to collect the ball, Matt Watson was able to shoot forwards and try and get into the attack himself. So good rotation of those players. Again, communication is key on the soccer field, and it's a much better job that we're seeing from Phoenix so far tonight.
Watson overplayed Bravo, and that possession breaks apart for Phoenix. Played down center. Dixon wasn't able to get by as Cohen came all the way out of his box. Now the counter on for Phoenix. Regi cut off by Daly. Did that get out over the end line? It's a throw for Phoenix.
How Dixon was onside, I don't know. He must have timed his run to absolute perfection. But Cohen, the goalkeeper for Phoenix Rising, he timed his run to perfection too, to thwart that attack.
Regi looking for Bravo. Watson's blast is deflected by Gonzalez. This is a really refreshing start for Phoenix in that Omar Bravo has become the center point of their wing-based attack, trying to find him. Unlocking Vasquez, but a bit too wide this a moment ago. Onside or no? As rather we look back at the previous play towards the end line.
So we'll end up with another flip throw here.
Does that offend your English sensibility?
The flip
throw? I hope not.
No, I mean, if the long throw is such an effective weapon in soccer, and if that's the way that Michael Harris does it, then that's the way he does it. I mean, it doesn't offend me at all.
Pay attention!
As Rick Shantz, your interim head coach for the game. Game number 2 for Phoenix.
A long throw, and as you can see with Harris, he hasn't had an opportunity in the attacking half yet for the energy, but just able to switch the position on the field is a vital asset that he has because of the ability that he has on that throw-in. But once he gets into his attacking half, and it can be such a dangerous weapon because the ball comes in at a different flight than it would from a cross ball. and it makes it very difficult as a defender to deal with. And also, it becomes a real focus for you as the opposition coaching staff during practice in preparation for it. And frankly, it's so difficult to prepare for it because unless you have a player that can do something similar, you can't simulate what he does.
I'm glad you agree with me on the whole with that. You stated it elegantly.
Well, I'm glad I did.
15th minute. Phoenix and Oklahoma City scoreless. Played through. Wright Phillips. Cortez chips it to the wing. Regi stepping over to his right. The block came in from Harris. Dixon couldn't keep it in as he tried to counter.
Lovely turn from Wright Phillips. Cortez didn't choose the give and go, played it out wide to Regi. He drops his right shoulder. Great job there defensively to get across was Mickey Daly.
Steamy 89 degrees as the sun has set in Phoenix. That 13-mile-an-hour crosswind not showing much effect in the early going as Harris trailing away from Regi.
So far, the Energy have to find some way to get everybody else involved in the game other than Daly. He's really the only player for them that's found anything going forwards.
And Wright Phillips draws the foul. One of a handful of major names played at Chelsea, won at Chelsea in this league now. Drogba not debuting tonight, but Joe Cole picking up a 2-0 win. A couple of dynamite assists for Tampa Bay. They knocked off Louisville from the ranks of the unbeaten earlier today. Of course, Chelsea lifting the silverware in the English Premier League this year over this past week.
Yes. I think it's channel 10.
Alex Dixon.
Or something. They got a weird name for it.
Up the left side, and the ball one-timed towards the end line and past Cohen, out of play.
Not the best decision there. I thought there was time for the ball to be settled on that left flank and get into the attacking third and allow the teammates to join the attack.
There's Jimmy Nielsen, head coach for Oklahoma City, best known for his time at Sporting Kansas City as the goalkeeper. Rick Schantz actually knows him quite well. Bravo gets the ball back for Phoenix. Cortez. Back to Lorendi. During his time at FC Tucson in PDL, Tucson actually hosts MLS preseason. Rick Schantz actually got to know him quite well. Had a few dinners with Jimmy Nielsen. One of his good friends is on Nielsen's staff at Oklahoma City. This a week after the coach for Reno, Ian Russell, played his games against Rick Schantz. It appears we're going to be playing how many degrees from Rick Schantz does it take for every coach in the West? This player down at midfield.
That's Rooney down and a lot of discomfort there. He went down immediately. Obviously his teammates are concerned. He's such a big part of this squad and what Phoenix Rising do. He's also one of those players that you know he doesn't mess about.
Green might have had an angle of it.
And the manner in which he went down, there's nothing put on about the pain that he was in as he fell to the turf. This is a great moment, though, for the coaching staff of the energy to talk to the team and see if they can get something going on the going forwards. As we saw the replay, I didn't see any contact really there. Didn't seem to be any sort of rotating movement either, so not sure what exactly happened to Rooney.
The referee, pardon the trainer, actually grabbed into the bag and pulled out a walkie-talkie and made a call on there as soon as he got to the site. But what exactly comes next is unclear, as Rick Schantz, coach, and Rooney talking this out. Spoke with Frank Yallop 3-4 weeks ago. He said he's the kind of guy you have to settle down just because he's got constant energy. You mentioned in pregame his work rate and how hard he really does work all around the field.
Well, he is one of two players for this Phoenix Rising squad that really are the engine. Rigi is the other one, and the enthusiasm and work rate that those two players have are really influence their team. It looked like as he was reaching for the ball to intercept that pass, he may have tweaked something, whether a groin or rolled an ankle. Still a little bit unclear from that replay, but arm around the athletic trainer there, help to the bench, and to wait and see whether he's able to return to action or not.
Well, concern for Luke Rooney now. And for the time being, Phoenix will play a man down until they choose either make a substitution or have Luke return to the field.
See Sean Wright-Phillips there dropped back deeper into the holding midfield position,
which Rooney was playing much of in the early going of the game.
I'm working on it. Stand by, stand by.
Cohen. Just too far for Bravo. High hop over the Mexican striker. Rasmussen. Gonzalez lost the handle. Wright-Phillips took over. Now Stewart.
Keep moving. Stay active, Cortez. Come on, bud.
Look at this hand either working.
Vasquez. Stewart.
Nobody's making a second run.
Now Ramage, captain's armband for this Phoenix side.
Listening to the instructions from the coaching staff, and they're asking their players to keep moving. The Phoenix Rising team make a second run. Really looking at both squads, Mike, there's very little energy, very little industry in any of the runs that are being made by either team going forwards, but Phoenix Rising are the more industrious as Rooney returns to the fray.
Another massive crowd here giving a polite applause as they note his return to the field as it's blasted to Cohen. All that possession for Oklahoma City. Right back. Rooney gets a touch on the ball, and suddenly all seems right with the world. Watson will try the right. Back on the ball now. Lifted toward Cortez. Wright-Phillips sprinting, had his legs taken out. Rigi. Played out by Vasquez. And Rooney went out there, and it looked like he gave it his best, but The discomfort clearly still very much an issue. Luke Rooney, the last win for Phoenix on April 23rd, a goal and an assist in a 4-3 thriller, but coming off early tonight.
Yeah, you could see as he went in for a challenge, he kind of turned his back, was a very tentative, very un-Rooney-like. It makes the good decision to come out and say, hey, coach, I can't go anymore. I can't give 100% for my team. Better put somebody in who can.
It'll be interesting to see, as it's really hard to find a one-for-one replacement for Rooney on this roster. As Ramage has it turned over, Vucic. And now Gonzalez strikes with his right off the back of Wright Phillips. Kept now and lifted by Guzman. Past the end line, and Daniel Gonzalez put that strike right into the back of Sean Wright Phillips.
Well, finally, it was a turnover call by Rasmussen. The shot coming in off the back of Wright Phillips. Rasmussen, forgive me, but the finally showing some energy for the energy.
Miguel Tim will come on. First time this year. First sub for either side comes in the 26th minute for the injured Luke Rooney. Out of Durban, South Africa, the 25-year-old steps in, having played in 15 games a year ago. Vucic knocked off the ball by Stewart, who throws his fist out in disagreement.
I think Stewart was a bit hard done by. I thought that was a good tackle there. Vucic just ridden off the ball, and maybe it was because of his positioning coming in from behind the right hip of Vucic is why the foul was called against Stewart, but it looked like a clean tackle to me.
Regi went up on Daly. Miguel Gonzalez colliding with Jordan Stewart, and Stewart wants to play. He wants to push the tempo for Phoenix.
Well, he's wanted to do that right from the opening kickoff, seeing galloping into the attacking half for his team. Now we see Regi go down holding his knee as he miskicks the ball.
He immediately rotated his finger in a way that would make you think he was calling for a sub, and discomfort would only begin to state the emotion on Regi's face right now. Oh, man.
Well, if Regi's also going to have to be subbed out for injury, it's two huge players for this Phoenix Rising squad that will be missing for this game and perhaps games down the pipe.
As we look at the injury to Regi.
It looked like his leg just gave way as he tried to kick the ball.
Non-contact, and you can see him.
He didn't like the way the athletic trainer tugged on his helmet like that.
No. And it would be...
looking above his sock, is that tape there?
Yeah.
That looks like wrap above his calf, so maybe he has coming in with an injury and it just gave way on him. But certainly wasn't happy with the way the trainer grabbed his leg there.
No, and it would be unfortunate for us to begin to guess what could happen with both Rooney and Regi. Hopefully both okay in the long run. Another look.
He was in mid-stride flying along, and as he was trying to pass the ball forward, trying to fight Bravo, just as he was swinging the leg, it almost just looked like his right leg as he kicked the ball just gave away.
Well, no one knows their body better than the player himself, and he immediately went down and motioned with his finger as he was rolling. It appeared for a sub. He's trying to put a little bit of weight on it. And all of a sudden, Alessandro Regi, who has been a bright light for this team, coming over from FC Montreal, native of Quebec, As Rick Shantz making a couple of subs in the opening half hour, far before it was anticipated he may need to do so. And indeed, Regi is coming off, and a player is preparing to come on. It looks like Johnson.
Looks like Regi's being taken to the locker room immediately.
It is Jason Johnson who's going to come on. This has just been, despite a 0-0 score, a somewhat disastrous opening half for Phoenix, in the sense that Luke Rooney and Alessandro Regi, both key offensive string pullers in this larger offensive game plan, have been forced out of the game by injury in the opening 30 minutes.
Well, substitutions were originally there for the deal with injuries. Coaches like to use them for tactical reasons now, but that's really been thrown out the window for Rick Shantz. Very unfortunate, and hopefully those two players, the injuries aren't too serious and they can return to action for Phoenix Rising in the not too distant future, because as I said, they are very important components of what this team tried to do.
It was just 3 weeks ago against Swope Park that they each scored. Regi's goal, a curling finish into the upper corner, a jaw dropper. Now both lost for the contest and perhaps longer. Meanwhile, Vucic poking it wide. Kyle Highland. Haven't heard his name much. Out of Bay Village, Ohio, a soccer hotspot outside of Cleveland. 3 in blue and green.
It's going to be interesting to see how both teams respond to those injuries. Confidence is a little fragile after the performances last week.
He thinks he gets to keep it. He's going to want at least one Drogba autograph before he gives that up. I'm not sure he's going to get it either.
Yeah, this is a purpose-built soccer stadium, not a soccer field in a baseball stadium, so you don't get to keep the foul balls, do you?
The spoils, as it might be. Mike Watts, Matt Stubbington with you. Well done to bring it down by Cortez. Crossfield pass. Bravo heads it back. Watson. Tim. Ian Watson not on the same wavelength. Vucic was able to get it by Wakasa, and now the run is on for Oklahoma City Energy. It's Gonzalez stepping over, plays it over the top, looking for Vucic. Watson couldn't control it. Instead, it's Guzman coming off of injury, his first start since the opener.
Very important defensive header there. I think it was Victor Vasquez. Positioning was fantastic.
Stewart ripping it away. Lifted down for Jason Johnson. Johnson gliding by Daly. Johnson plays the cross just over Bravo.
You get that deep into the attacking third inside the penalty box, you should try and drive the ball on the ground. Johnson goes for a ball up in the air and wasn't able to control it under the pressure. And that ball just flew off his left foot over the head of Bravo. Great effort of number 14 to get that deep into the penalty area. But you got to do better with the service.
26-year-old out of Jamaica from VCU. Maybe best known for Shaka Smart and the terrific basketball program, but don't undersell what the Rams have done on the soccer field, putting pros into the USL for years.
Now, this is going to be an important passage of play for both teams, really. As I said, that confidence after last week is fragile for both these squads. But how do Phoenix Rising respond to their two key players, Regi and Rooney, going out with injury? Can they stay positive? Can they still stay on the front foot? At the same time, you would think that Oklahoma City would try and force the issue and take it to Phoenix Rising and see whether they can destroy that confidence.
Vucic has the play broken down. Ramage got it away before Gonzalez arrived. Cohen cuts it back across the grain as Miguel Gonzalez was running toward him. And here comes Watson, trying to unlock Cortez, and the defensive header won by Harris.
Nicely done by Harris. Good footwork. Wasn't under a lot of pressure, but made the pass back to the goalkeeper look very easy.
La Furia Roja leaving no stone unturned. Loud supporter section tonight in Phoenix. The team looking for that extra boost. A couple of players down to injury in the last 10 minutes. Johnson. Stewart for Watson, carries away. Dangerous pass. Headed into the middle of the field. Cortez gets it back, fires the cross, looking for Wright Phillips. It sailed over him to Johnson, got by him as well.
Coaching staff not happy about that. They thought there might have been a penalty. The ball was in a little bit, served in a little bit better, where Johnson could have got his head onto it. I think they would have a case. Nicely headed down from Bravo to Cortez, floats the ball in. You can see there, Highland just body checks Johnson off of the ball, but the ball was already over the head of number 14 for Phoenix Rising.
Gonzalez has that pinball off of Ramage. Bravo. Excellent first half. And Phillips going back. Tim and Watson playing catch up the right-hand side. Wakasa. Watson. Tim. Bravo tried to combine with Wright Phillips. Came apart at the seams. Vasquez. And now Stewart again. One of the most athletic clearances you'll ever see. Last week, late in the first half against Reno. One that appeared to potentially turn the tide. But quickly in the second half, their hopes of a comeback dashed. 4-0 defeat.
Stewart has impressed me tonight. He's come on with a clear head and really trying to be a positive influence on the team right from the opening kickoff.
Gets that down to Wright Phillips. Johnson was trying to connect. Cortez stepping to his right and didn't get that to dip. That's off into the Phoenix night.
A little bit ambitious, just drops the shoulder, cuts inside, snaps the shot. Never really got his feet set before he pulled the trigger, trying to shoot the ball. Lorendi never troubled in net.
Couple of players waiting. Ramage came away with the ball, but turned it over. Rasmussen getting it from Guzman. And now Wright Phillips steps in. Two players slide, neither come away with it. Cortez was looking, instead blasted up the line and away from Dixon.
Been quiet the latter part of this first half. He had a few bright moments in the opening 10-15 minutes, but since then he's been very quiet as Dixon. Vucic hasn't really made himself available. his head go down as possession goes away from him.
I spoke to Jimmy Nielsen about a month ago, and he said right now we don't have a first choice striker. Both Vucic and Danny Koenig were struggling to score. Said whoever scores first is my first choice striker for the time being. In the end, neither have really done all that well, but Koenig getting a fresh start at Cincinnati, debuting today after the trade for Andy Craven made some shockwaves across the league this week.
Well, Vucic has to find a way to get himself involved in the game. Maybe check back to the ball, get to the strong side a little bit better. Of course, the service passes like that aren't doing him any favors either, but one thing you can control is your effort. To get yourself out of your slump, you have to try other ways of doing that and getting yourself involved in the game. Run for the ball, ask for the passes. Your teammates will appreciate that, but if they see you hanging your head and walking around the pitch, they're not going to want to pass the ball to you because they don't think you're going to do anything with it. It becomes a cyclical thing.
Off of Cortez. Backstopped by Stewart in the center circle. Lifted up the wing, and the header offside as Lorendi claimed it either way.
They're coming from an offside position to play the ball on the header.
Highland bounces down toward Dixon. Not a good enough clearance from Stewart. Corner for OKC. Phoenix lucky it's not more.
Good job by Victor Vasquez to track the run from Dixon. Number 11 for the Energy couldn't quite control it. Ends up going out for that corner kick.
Lined off the head of Cortez. Miguel Gonzalez sweeps it back. Rasmussen. They've been looking for more from him. Dixon battling with Vasquez, tries to turn the corner, got the cross in, comes to Stewart, back for Cohen. The clearance falls to Wright Phillips. Bravo is coming back for the ball. Rasmussen shakes his finger, doesn't want the foul called. The referee called nothing at all.
Good to see some bodies flying around. Shows some commitment from both squads. It's been a little bit disappointing, frankly, this first half from both teams.
Rasmussen, an 8th-year pro, his first year in the United Soccer League, a great physical presence, was actually a teammate with Danny Koenig in Denmark, which is where Jimmy Nielsen found them both.
Two teams struggling. You want to see your players commit to what you're doing, and that's not been the case really from either team, although Phoenix Rising have been more positive this match so far.
Harris, the flip throw, comes down in the box. Contact. Stewart clears it. We saw that from behind the midfield line this time. A chance to get the ball all the way from near midfield into the box for Gonzalez, who had that bicycle kick off of a missed clearance from the flip throw last month against Sacramento.
It's such a dangerous weapon for this Energy team, and they have a long throw in from the other side too. Not quite as spectacular because there isn't the flip, but it's still equally as dangerous.
Wright Phillips brings a player down with his moves. Looking for Johnson. There's nowhere to go for Highland, was able to keep the ball. Now Daniel Gonzalez. Dixon ping-ponging it around, and that got out over the touchline as Vasquez appeared burned.
Vasquez was burned there, and I don't think Dixon got that ball over the sideline there. I think he was hard done by the official on this near sideline. Beautiful footwork to spring himself down the flank from Dixon.
Cody Andrews, the centerpiece for years of this Oklahoma City defense. The injuries in this first half, both Rooney and Regi exiting the game with non-contact injuries. And a lengthy first half stoppage time announced. There's 5 minutes. There it is on the other side of that board.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 5 minutes of added time in the first half.
I like what I've seen from Alan Dixon for the energies in this first half. Hasn't been quite as consistent as I would like going forwards, but when he's shown a little bit of magic that he can be a real threat for the energy.
Casa here to earn that contact. Well, now an opportunity for Phoenix on the impending set piece. Cortez stepping back. Options in the box making themselves available. Cortez off the wall of 4. Deflects up and off the face of Miguel Gonzalez. It's a throw to Phoenix.
I was a little surprised that Lorendi asked for 4 people in the wall there, and I guess that's why, because he thought Cortez would kick the ball straight in. Very poor service from Cortez on that set piece. Certainly I would expect maybe 2, maybe 3 players in the wall from that angle, that distance. But of course, Lorendi knows what he wants, what he's doing. The concern there, though, is if you've got 4 people in the wall, then
who's marking
up? You have to recognize that as the Phoenix Rising and put more players in the box and put the opposition under some pressure.
Watson lifts the ball toward Johnson. Lorendi coming out to grab it.
As the ball comes in from Watson, you see that Johnson was trying to bend his run, trying to get back onside, just didn't time it quite enough to beat the flag of the official on the far sideline.
Lorendi 12 shutouts last year, 8 were on the road, and somehow wearing long sleeves on a day like this. Ball played over the top for Miguel Gonzalez, and Cohen keeps the ball inside the 18. Still plenty of time in first half stoppage. Daniel Gonzalez forced the issue. Jordan Stewart.
That's fine. I have
Tim.
the mic plugged into one. I just don't unplug two yet.
Stewart's pass falls to Dixon. Turns on the Jets and slows it down. Vucic and trying to run parallel to the line, but ultimately being too far across was Miguel Gonzalez.
I was wanting Dixon to force the issue down the right flank, but he didn't, because he looks like he was niggled after one of these challenges coming in. Might have been that one, or maybe that one. He beat Bravo. He beat Tim into space. I think it was that second challenge from Tim that caught Dixon on the right ankle, and he wasn't able to force the issue into the attacking third for the energy.
Josh Cohen lining it up in the final minute of first half stoppage. Sean Wright Phillips is arguing the other side of this.
Well, Cortez has had a few tough challenges in this first half, and he won't get the benefit of any doubt from the official.
Cortez at 6'2" just has the kind of size that makes the official think. Same with Vucic on the other side, 6'4" for Oklahoma City. Halftime. Well, it's 0-0. And on the whole, you argue the result is positive. But, Matt, when you lose Rooney and Regi both to injury in the first half hour, Phoenix with 0-0, that's not a bad place to be.
It is not a bad place to be, and I think that Coach Rick Schantz should be fairly happy with the way the Phoenix has been played this first half, because they've responded pretty positively to those two influential players leaving the pitch with those injuries. But, the energy, again, I apologize, but they got to find some energy. They've got to find a way to get the
both clubs in coming weeks, but for now, the focus is solely on each other. Phoenix and Oklahoma City into the second half. No substitutes at halftime for either side. Phoenix having already made a pair with Rooney and Regi injured in the opening 30 minutes of the game.
And immediately Gonzalez forcing the issue a little bit in the attacking third, creating the turnover. Only momentarily did they have possession of the ball, did Oklahoma City Energy. But good to see number 10 trying to find a way to get something going for the Energy.
Ramage knocks it upfield. Mentioned two subs already for Phoenix. The other subs available, Gavin, a midfielder, Gibbons, the outside back, as Cortez pushes upfield. Avila and Greer available among field players. No Didier Drogba in the 18, as they will wait to see his debut in Phoenix just a little while longer. Cody Andrews. Johnson showing off the pace as Mickey Daly knocks that away. Vucic checking back. There's Dixon. Foul at midfield. Cortez is walking calmly away from the scene of the crime.
Well, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't go into the referee's book just for the accumulation of fouls that he's had this game. The referee is indicating that he wants to speak to Cortez. And there is the expected yellow card.
Cortez throws an arm out and walks away. That was par for the course. 48th minute.
Well, he can't complain, Cortez. I mean, right from, we saw it in the highlight package at halftime. I mean, he had that hard challenge on Guzman within the first 2 minutes of the match, and the physicality of Cortez didn't wane at any moment in the first 45 minutes, and he continues into the second half. You see the ball cleared forwards there, and then just across the back of Daniel Gonzalez was Cortez, and the referee pulls out the yellow card.
Number 7, Chris Cortez.
Cortez picking up his first yellow card of the season. And Stewart, piece of Rasmussen.
Stewart just stepped on the foot of Rasmussen, and the studs on the top of your boot never feels good. And certainly when you get stepped on by a guy the size of Stewart, it's going to feel even worse.
6 foot, but built quite well. Highland. Andrews trying to go all the way around. Ultimately a goal kick for the home side. Phoenix, a team that was shut out by Reno, but had scored 6 goals over a 2-game stretch. They expected to come in and play angry in this affair. Multiple players went to Rick Schantz, apologized for the effort from last week on the field. Said he did not need to motivate this team very much coming in, but a couple of disappointing injuries to major offensive threats have thrust Phoenix, at least momentarily, into neutral as they try and get the offense clicking as it was in the opening 20 to 30 minutes.
And just the attitude of number 33, Jordan Stewart, has had throughout this match. I would be very surprised if he wasn't one of the first players into Coach Schantz's office to apologize for last week. From the opening kickoff, Stewart has really put his best foot forwards and tried to influence his teammates with his positive performance.
Up the wing, this is looking good from Wakasa. Johnson to his left, slides it into the net. Jason Johnson scores his first of the year. And Phoenix has broken through.
Well, Johnson is rubbing his hands in delight, and so he might. Beautiful play up this near sideline. Johnson gets hold of the ball, just drops his left shoulder. Ball played into the box, good movement, drops his left shoulder through the legs of the defender, Mickey Daly. And Lorendi really had no chance as it curls past him. He didn't see that ball until very late, did Cody Lorendi. And a very well taken goal by Johnson, the substitute who replaced Rooney in the first half.
Red smoke billowing out yet again for Phoenix as maybe they've found that offensive stride.
It might be just the thing that both these teams needed to start playing the game with a bit more commitment and a bit more intensity. Oklahoma City really have to step up to the plate now and find a way to answer the call.
Daniel Gonzalez playing Miguel Gonzalez, but Cohen slides along the grass to yank it in. Phoenix a 1-0 lead. That's the first goal since Peter Ramage gave a 4-0 lead to the team against Swope Park back on April 23rd. A span of over 180 minutes. Wakasa, Wright Phillips.
Clumsy challenge there from Wright Phillips. Have to give credit to Wakasa. It was him that passed the ball into the feet of Johnson on the goal. Good combination play up the flank. The outside back getting up into the attacking third. And calmly passing the ball into the foot of Johnson, who equally calmly passed the ball into the back of the net.
Ramage won it. Cortez playing it ahead for Johnson. Andrews leans over the top. Rasmussen has Ramage trailing toward his goalkeeper. Cohen. Johnson down on his belly. Kicked away from Dixon. Phoenix has the ball in midfield. Watson. Daniel Gonzalez nearly tipped it away. Stewart.
That was a really strong challenge there on Johnson. No wonder he went down under that duress there, Michael. Or am I exaggerating?
No, it takes a lot of pressure to turn coal into a diamond. And, well, there was no diamond there from the referee.
Have to change his name to Flopsy after that one.
Not quite sure I see it that strongly, but sure. Harris with the flip throw, and he'll work his way up the line.
That might be one of those that his teammates make fun of him in the locker room after the game ends.
He already scored a goal. What more do you want from the guy?
Yeah.
Go-ahead goal in the 51st. This, a simple overhead throw, comes down to Highland. The block. Still alive for Dixon. Dixon off of Wright Phillips. They'll reload again. Ball crossed through. Knocked off the crossbar. Stewart kicks it out. Highland was on the doorstep. That could be a momentum-turning play for Phoenix. Not only do they have the goal, but a big stop in front of the net. Two players slide together. Cortez going in strong, and he's playing on a yellow card.
Well, it was just a 50-50 challenge there, and is it Gonzalez is down injured. Trying to see the number of the player.
It's Cody Andrews, the center back. There is no player who's been more synonymous with success in Oklahoma City for the Energy than Cody Andrews. He is writhing on the ground at the moment.
Well, as those two players came in on the challenge, it looked like he got a knee to the backside from Cortez. Good 50-50 challenge from two committed players.
And we look back to Oklahoma City nearly leveling the match.
It was Highland on the shot, disappointed. It was Wakasa on the block. And then the ball comes back in. Cohen misjudges this as it goes in, up off the crossbar. He actually hits it onto the crossbar, and Ramage was there to thwart the attack again from Highland. All hands to the pumps, defensive effort there from Phoenix Rising. Wakasa and Ramage clearing the lines. Highland, the left fullback, trying to find a way to get the ball over the goal line for the Oklahoma City Energy.
Yeah, and it was Cohen who primed that pump. Not sure if you've heard that phrase. 57th minute, as Andrews still down. Well, Jimmy Nielsen is leaning over with him. Let's see what happened.
Andrews there just going in for the ball, turns his back on Cortez. As Cortez follows through, the knee to the buttock there. Ludius Maximus.
Yeah, and if you've ever taken some contact to that tailbone, you know that can be a really physically painful injury. And he's trying to lean all his weight away from it.
Well, he's being substituted out, so I was hoping it was just a knee to the buttock area and a dead leg, so to speak, but to the backside area. But it seems like it might be a little bit more than that as Andrews leaves the game.
In his 49th appearance with Oklahoma City in his third season. Johnson kicked away. That is off the flag and a throw. Jose Baril will come on. He holds the remarkable statistic of having been red carded not once this season, but twice. But he's played in every game he hasn't been suspended for. 2 starts. This is his second time off the bench. Casa going for Tim. And now Cortez.
Ramage telling Cohen get back in the goal and interchange of passes between the big center back and his keeper.
Bounces all the way through. Wright Phillips trying to bring it down. Wright Phillips still going. They're looking. Is it a handball or a foul that they want? Could have been either. In the end, neither. Bounces toward Cohen. Tried to slide it back into play. And off of that madness, it's a corner kick to Oklahoma City.
The ball didn't quite fall kindly for Wright Phillips. Great defensive effort there from Harris to get that ball back out of the foot of Wright Phillips. And Lorendi back down quickly and bravely at the foot of the Englishman to thwart the attack.
And I think I agree with the referee in the end. There was nothing there.
Absolutely nothing there. And great distribution from Lorendi as well to win the corner kick down the other end of the pitch.
Burrell coming right off the bench. Popped up by Daly. Cortez. Ramage. Spearing the ball out. 60th minute throw again for Oklahoma City. And they've got a couple guys who can throw long. Both Harris with the flip and Highland without it.
And that's one of those pick your poison. Do you give up a free corner kick or do you give up a long throw in? And as I said in the first half, these throw-ins can be almost more dangerous because you can aim the ball more accurately with the throw.
And it comes down for a shot saved by Cohen. Miguel Gonzalez has been robbed. The throw was on the money to Gonzalez, who was looking for his second goal of the year.
It bounced kindly, a poor defensive header. The goalkeeper was beaten and it came off the post. The right hand upright as we look at the goal.
That did ricochet squarely off the post. Burrell. That is lofted over the sweets.
Mickey Daly couldn't get that one down and on target.
He scored 4 goals, leading Sacramento to the 2014 USL Cup Championship, Daly, from the center back position.
I think it was Daly actually that took the ball off of the foot of Wright Phillips in that attack that preceded the corner kick from Oklahoma City.
Vasquez has left that position, which leaves Dixon to run up the wing. He is outrun for the ball by Watson, and Dixon pulling at his back. Foul conceded. Jose Bosch on the sideline telling us that both Rooney and Rigi officially left the game with right knee injuries. Johnson, it's a crowd. Well, Phoenix may have wanted advantage played. It's not the way the referee saw it, but it is. A nice free kick opportunity from about 30, 40 yards off goal line extended.
A lot of players around the ball, and Johnson ended up going to the deck. Wins the free kick for his team. Wright Phillips to take it.
Wright Phillips, high arcing ball, lifted up over the area. Collision. Johnson couldn't draw the penalty. Stewart a line drive. And nobody there.
I like the service in off of this free kick. Floated into the back post area. Cortez does very well to win it. And then it looks like Thailand there. Under the challenge of Johnson, just upends the Phoenix Rising player. But I think the referee made the right decision. No call. Let play continue. We have offside at the other end of the pitch.
Hey, my outside back gets pushed going up for a header. It's not personal. Just relax. You relax.
You know, they're great dinner companions when they're in Tucson, but when it comes to Phoenix, they're not the best of friends, it appears.
I always have to laugh at the coaches talking to the fourth official. I feel so sorry for the fourth official because you have to listen to everything that is said, and at the end of the day, you have absolutely no influence as to what you can do as far as the game is concerned. And you're charged with saying to the coach, hey, calm down, calm down.
Well, and I thought he was talking to Jimmy Nielsen on the other side in the other technical box.
He might well have been.
There are no soft tempers tonight between these two sides. Played back onto the foot of Rasmussen. Sometimes you get treated to a little taste of inside baseball, as it might be. Wow, that move was something. Vasquez slipped the ball by, breaking ankles in the process.
It looked like as he took the ball past Vucic. Vucic did a clumsy swipe at the foot of Vasquez and consequently gave up a free kick to the Phoenix Rising.
Wright Phillips going up with Daly. Throw to the home team.
Yeah, the coach is saying to the team, go for the second ball. Anticipate where that ball is going. Not necessarily going to win possession on the first header. You're always trying to win the ball on the second header, though. You hear that all the time across soccer fields all over the country. Win the second ball.
Wakasa goes tumbling down. Spacey vacated under attack by Gonzalez. Dixon chasing down. Cohen has company. Ramage. Cortez. Directional header that came to Rasmussen. Now Daniel Gonzalez. Oklahoma City just 3 goals scored in 5 games so far. A lone win against Sacramento last month. Up the left-hand wing, Highland. Service that bounds down into the area and deflects between Vasquez and Stewart. And now it's whistled a corner for Oklahoma City.
And Peter Ramage saw something then. Maybe he was anticipating a handball, but he's imploring to the referee to see whatever he saw.
Oklahoma City last time in this corner, they were really dangerous.
They absolutely were. It was a great opportunity, and if it wasn't for the great play of Wakasa and Ramage blocking the attempts from Highland, it would be a tied game as we sit, but they played great defense, blocking the shot and then the header attempt from Highland.
Jose Baril came down in the middle of the area. Miguel Gonzalez got that down.
Again, somehow, some way, Phoenix Rising are able to get that ball clear. They can be real key moments, these set pieces. When you're struggling to score goals from open play, you have to try and create something off of the set piece, and Oklahoma City Energy are finding ways to do that and put pressure on this Phoenix team.
Lifted to Ramage. Wakasa, a throw. And a move coming, it appears. Jordan Stewart walking toward the touchline.
Phoenix Rising FC. Entering the match is number 34, J.J.
Well, Stewart was a man possessed tonight. J.J. Greer comes on in his stead.
Number 33.
At every Phoenix Rising home match during the 2017 season, 2 lucky fans will be upgraded to sit in the very best seats of the house, courtesy of Pruitt's Fine Furniture. Lucky winners not only enjoyed tonight's action, the most comfortable seats directly on the pitch. But those luxury reclining chairs, they'll be delivered to their home next week. A gift from Phoenix Rising FC and Pruitt's Fine Furniture.
It's like a great vantage point there.
We should send you down there.
The seats look comfy.
Yeah.
Really surprised Jordan Stewart was subbed out there. I wonder if there, again, another injury. He didn't seem to be moving badly, so maybe it's some sort of tactical change perhaps, I don't know, but Jordan Stewart did a real job of work tonight, really influenced the team going forwards right from the get-go, as I said earlier in commentary, and really impressed me tonight, did number 33 for Phoenix Rising.
Well, Greer, primarily an outside back, would make you think Wakasa will swing in to the center back position he's most comfortable in. That being the final sub, as Rooney and Regi injured in the first 30 minutes, the other two. Also means we'll see Bravo and Wright Phillips both play out the string in this affair with 20 minutes left before stoppage time. Pushed up. And now the cross for Vucic. Dixon couldn't connect. Mukasa has stayed wide. Greer has stepped in at right center back alongside Peter Ramage. Meanwhile, Daniel Jackson, pacey forward, who was injured in April last year, slowing his development. Daniel Gonzalez comes out.
Jimmy Nelson having the luxury of tactical changes in this second half, but his counterpart for Phoenix Rising isn't able to make because of those two injuries in the first half.
Off the back of Dixon, it appeared, and Watson appealing as such.
Almost appeared like the referee didn't want to call a free kick, but gave possession back to Oklahoma City on the throw, and to me, from our vantage point, it looked like it did come off of the Energy player for a Phoenix Rising throw-in, but that was not the case.
Well, that throw-in is just as dangerous as that goes off the head of Cortez. And off the flip throw, a corner kick. We'll see what Oklahoma City, under the fourth-year head coach Jimmy Nielsen, the longest tenured man among Western Conference teams in the USL in the managerial position, can put together here. Burrill, a line drive, two-fisted punch from Cohen, but before the play was complete, a foul against Oklahoma City Energy.
Oh, good job by the goalkeeper to punch that one clear. I like the interchange between Greer and Cortez, and Ramage off of that throw-in, and disbelief that that throw-in from Harris went so far into the box.
Energy's last win away from Taft Stadium. 3-2 victory at RGV. Memory serves, first round of the playoffs. A late comeback to reach into the second round. Cohen able to keep that inside the area. Last year with Orange County, reached the playoffs with, at the time, the OC Blues. Watson lets that roll away as Burrill, who came from Harrisburg, letting that out. Cortez offside.
Be careful. A little bit of unsportsmanlike conduct there as he kicks the ball away, and a very easy way to pick up his second yellow card of the evening and go to the sideline. He's getting a talking to from the official.
Well, and usually this is where you yank a guy off the field no matter how well he's playing, because you're down to one more strike, but no substitutions available to Phoenix.
And as a player, I mean, you have to understand what your situation is and have the maturity to make better decisions than Cortez just made in that situation. There's no need to kick the ball away like that. Free kick is well up the pitch, away from your goal. You don't have to waste any time.
Clipped aside by Baril, setting up a long-range effort that Cohen puts over the bar.
Goalkeeper was in terrific position. It was a great shot coming in from the right foot. Had to make sure it went over the crossbar, did Cohen.
The Energy will try now a 6th corner of the match. This one from the left, off the foot of Guzman. Miguel Gonzalez. The ball tricks. Highland fires it back in. Vucic playing over to Daniel Jackson.
Variety is the spice of life. Highland playing that quick throw in. Everybody's expecting Oklahoma City to set up for the long ball. Chose the shorter option and almost created something in the attacking third for his team. Here's the shot. Gonzalez it was. Cohen had to make sure that went over the crossbar. Good save. It wasn't particularly spectacular, but the positioning of the goalkeeper was perfect and able to tip that one out.
Well, for Josh Cohen, a save like that, as they say, variety the spice of life. Lifted upfield by Cortez. Wright Phillips still going. The flag stayed down.
I really thought he'd straight into an offside position as that ball went forwards, but wasn't called offsides. Cohen lets that ball run deep into his penalty area. Try and waste a few seconds.
They'll play out of the back. Johnson lost the handle. Baril playing it down center. Miguel Gonzalez racing onto the ball. Sliding challenge. Cohen has arrived. And it was risky from Wakasa, whose last game included a red card in the 75th minute for contact on the edge of the penalty area.
He had to be sure of his challenge there. Great run from deep in the midfield from Gonzalez to get into the attacking third, put pressure on that Phoenix rising back line.
Tim. Bravo going after Daly. Lorendi's clearance off of Wakasa. Cortez. Now comes to Wright Phillips. Tried to play a through ball. Ricocheted back to him. Wakasa goes backward. Now Greer for Cohen. Highland and Cortez collide. Cortez gets back on his feet, brought down by Highland.
Highland can have no complaint about that. He just grabbed the leg of Cortez and took him to the turf. Good physical battle there between the two players. Great strength from Cortez to find a way to get hold of that ball and get up with it. Long ball over the top. Good strength there. Cortez wins the tackle quite cleanly, and then there goes the leg.
The Undertaker.
And Highland gets called for the foul. Rugby union, he might be called for spearing as he threw Cortez to the ground.
Bravo. That went through the box, and Ramage took a swing at it. Watson. That's kicked to the side. Bravo. Sliding out of play was Baril. First corner for Phoenix comes in the 80th minute. Bravo, who last year with Chivas scored at Taft Stadium in a 1-0 friendly win. Ball headed, saved by Lorendi, pushed away. Cortez nearly doubling the Phoenix lead.
Great save by the goalkeeper. Cortez rising highest in the box. Lorendi to his right, a fantastic save, reacting to that header. Delightful service in. Highest was Cortez. Where was the marking? Everybody's watching the ball, nobody's watching the player. Lorendi reacting nicely to his right to palm that ball away, making the save, keeping his team in this match with 10 minutes to go.
Will that save loom large later from Cody Lorendi? Johnson. Overlapping run coming from Wakasa. Chooses to go backward. Watson plays. Johnson off a little bit there with Wakasa in the end.
Needs to get his focus, get back into the action, does Johnson. Poor decision to come back. Wakasa had worked hard to get round the outside of his teammate, and Johnson slows things down and comes back inside and just wastes the effort that Wakasa had spent up the right wing.
Daniel Gonzalez looked sprung for Jimmy Nielsen, team that traded the best scorer in their franchise's history over the last week, Danny Koenig. Fellow native of Denmark. Watson met by Miguel Gonzalez.
That was a good job from Gonzalez in the initial challenge to win the ball back. Wasn't able to control it, and then with his frustration gives up a free kick rather unnecessarily.
Casa turning down Johnson. Greer. That's an impressive touch for Tim.
Crowd loved it.
Johnson carries toward the edge. The 18-yard box. Cuts through. Johnson playing Bravo. And the ball is kicked wide. It finally seemed like Bravo was due, and it was Cortez who blocked the shot.
Great defensive effort from Cortez, just at the wrong end of the pitch. You can't fault the player. Number 7 trying to get across the face of goal to the near post area, but his teammate Bravo was better placed. The shot wasn't quite what Bravo intended, and in the end Cortez just deflected that ball out of the play.
Right,
Fantastic
Phillips.
effort there from Johnson to get the ball in outside of the right boot. And there you see Cortez trying to get to the near post. Bravo was perfectly placed. Beautiful pass from Johnson. And there was Cortez ruining what would have been a moment of glory for Bravo.
Now, a different argument to be made. Does Lorendi make that save? One you can make. He was moving in that direction, but it would have been low. It would have been tough.
It would have been tough, but, I mean, you have to say Bravo did not hit that as he would have liked to. There wasn't really a lot of pace on that ball, so I think the goalkeeper probably would have made the save, but, you know, Cortez.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Cortez looking to play it back across the face, a goal for Bravo. Bravo trots out to the corner.
There's a lot of frustration on the faces of these Oklahoma City players.
Bravo in swinger. Vucic winning it. Tim taken away by Dixon. Miguel Gonzalez steps by Greer, tried to play the ball ahead. Daniel Jackson still rushing forward. Tim was there to help take it away, and now a slide in. Wright Phillips is gesturing back to midfield.
Looks like he's going to get a yellow card. The hand is in the pocket. He is not a happy camper, is Wright Phillips.
He's not accepting it, but ultimately he'll have to take it.
And Wright Phillips is, I mean, you can see his hand goes up immediately in apology, claiming he didn't see the player coming. Rasmussen, I think it was, who went down under the challenge. In the end, Wright Phillips gets the yellow, and there is a free kick to Oklahoma City Energy and goes harmlessly into the hands of Cohen.
Vucic trying to head that on target from 15, maybe 18 yards away.
Get on the ball side. Pinch together. Come on.
Dixon. Cortez headed it down. Lifted into space by Wright Phillips. Bravo cuts to his left. Keeps the ball. Goes to ground. Wins the foul.
Well, it's a great job there defensively from Daly to get back goal side and stop Bravo going to net. And then Guzman just clips Bravo as he tries to get or create a shooting angle for himself.
A caution has been issued by the referee.
And Guzman gets a yellow card for his trouble. And the referee's going to need a bigger book.
Will Cortez put it in play? Will Bravo try for a golazo? Bravo! Wide. Just wide.
Well, the angle of the ball on the free kick would have favored a left-footed shot, and Cortez was standing over the ball. In the end, it's Bravo that attacks the ball, puts it over the wall, gets it up quickly and down quickly. The goalkeeper Lorendi looked to have had it covered as it just goes past the left-hand upright as we look at the net. A pretty good attempt there from Bravo, though.
Cortez over Wright Phillips.
Could have done with Cortez running in there, not Wright Phillips. He's got some ups, does the little man from England, but not quite those.
5'6", maybe the only guy on the field smaller than Matt Stubbington.
And I don't have any ups.
Not like those.
If I jump in the air, you might get a sheet of paper underneath my feet.
Vucic. Tim. Lifted into the air by Bravo. Gets by Harris. Bumping past the contact. Eventually won by Oklahoma City. But they have a late equalizer in them.
Almost looks like Bravo wants to get his goal. Playing hungry in the last few minutes.
He does seem rather intent, doesn't he? Sliding in, Watson can hang on. Jackson slices the ball across. It's played right back to Dixon, who shoots. Saved by Cohen. Nearly slid between his legs. The goalkeeper able to hang on.
Good shot there coming in. Dixon on the shot right at the goalkeeper. Good positioning from Cohen, and he had to be sure-handed. His positioning of his body was a little awkward as he went down for the save, and if he didn't get those arms behind that ball, it quite easily could have slid through his legs into the back of the net for an embarrassing goal. But the goalkeeper is very wily and very smart and very skilled and made no mistake in net for Phoenix Rising.
3 minutes of added time, 6,251 in attendance. Will they see the first shutout in a Phoenix uniform for Cohen? Driving in, contact, edge of the area. It is a penalty. He looked over to the assistant. And now Oklahoma City from the spot will have a chance to draw level in stoppage time.
Well, the coaching staff for Phoenix Rising are not happy. Ball comes in, contact happens. It looked like it happened on the edge of the box. Rasmussen under the challenge going down. Ramage was there. Greer was there. Now the question is, this is obviously a goal-scoring opportunity, so what choice does the referee make as far as the card is concerned?
Well,
yellow card. Wasn't the last player back because Ramage was there as well, so another yellow card issued in this match. This one to, I believe, Greer.
Substitute. Well, this is going to have all the drama. Another yellow card is coming. Is that Bravo? It is. Well, you can't tell me this game doesn't matter to him.
He talked himself into the referee's book there. And there's got to be an awful lot of frustration for these Phoenix Rising players on the cusp of a 1-0 victory and now conceding the penalty kick.
Kyle Highland last year in the US Open Cup with a game-winning goal in the 107th minute against now defunct Rio OKC. Highland, a chance to draw it level. Cohen defending his goal. In stoppage time, Kyle Highland to equalize. Puts it in the net past the diving Cohen. Oklahoma City may have just taken a point from the jaws of defeat on the road to Phoenix.
Cohen, the keeper for Phoenix Rising, is furious. Very unhappy with the official on the far sideline. Rising have got to be very, very disappointed. But on the other side of the ball, Oklahoma City Energy have to be absolutely thrilled. Calmly taken by Highland. A well-taken PK. Left-footed past Cohen. Really had no chance to his left.
Well, we'll likely have another minute or so as play was stopped for the better part of 2 minutes for that penalty. Now it's up to the referee to make the decision how long we go. Well, that's a gut punch for Phoenix. And going into this 4-game homestand after the start they had, you would say that 7 points from 4 games would be a positive outcome. But a bitter taste likely in their mouths at this moment as they try to make sure they take something from the affair. Harris, the flip throw. A strong defensive header. And now the race is on. Lifted by Cortez. Johnson into the attacking half. Johnson sends the service. Bounds out. Cortez plays to Wright Phillips, who shoots and scores! The 5th minute of stoppage time. Sean Wright Phillips, his first for Phoenix. And it couldn't have been any bigger if he tried. What a golden moment for Rick Schantz. His first win as a head coach seemingly in the bag. And Wright Phillips beats Lorendi. A carbon copy of the first finish for Phoenix, 2-1.
Wright Phillips takes the ball across his body to his right foot and just puts his right foot through the back of the ball, passes it into the back of the net. Lorendi wrong-footed, and the despairing look from the goalkeeper says it all as it goes in the back of the net. From the joy of the ball going in for the tying goal from Highland barely 2 minutes earlier, to seeing the probable victory, and it is the victory. The final whistle goes.
At the death, Sean Wright Phillips. That is just one of the greatest moments you'll ever see from the Englishman whose career accolades would fill a book. But tonight, what a finish in stoppage time to beat Oklahoma City, secure 3 points. Wow.
Well, the game took a while to get going, Mike, but when it did, it finished with an absolute flourish.
Well, La Furia Roja, the Banditos, this whole Phoenix Rising end line, they will not forget this. Cohen shutout, ripped from his grasp in the final seconds. Seemingly a win turned to a draw, but 3 points. Sean Wright Phillips will join Jose Bosch when we come back. Phoenix picks up the win. A remarkable finish. Final score, 2-1 over OKC Energy.